Hey guys, oh, I'm still little, sorry. Am I bigger now? I was doing something with OBS yesterday, so hopefully it's a bigger shot of me. I'm Anna with Anna Travels, so welcome back to Coffee Talk. I actually do have coffee. It is I forgot is it Dalgona or Dalgonga? I forgot what it's called. Basically, it's whipped coffee, it's milk, and then you put like 2 tablespoons of instant coffee crystals, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of hot water. Um, and then you whip it until it becomes nice and frothy like peanut butter. I use my KitchenAid because I feel like you can do this by hand, but I have the KitchenAid on like the highest setting, and yeah, so hopefully the sound is okay. Is my mic in? My mic should be good. I just thought about that. Anyways, so yeah, so you whip it until it turns frothy, and honestly, I set it to 10, and it took it at least 5 minutes to get ultra frothy. And then you just mix it all up with your milk, and then it is super high intensity coffee. And you can't see I'm wearing my Baby Yoda. I haven't watched The Mandalorian today, so I'm trying to avoid spoilers, which last week, y'all sucked. Like, the whole internet sucked, and people are like, well, stay off of social media. I'm like, it's not even social media. I need the internet for my job, you know? And then, like, I go to Google search sometimes to verify addresses and stuff, and, like, even now, like, these ads are showing, like, oh, what, blah, blah, blah happened on this episode, and they reveal a spoiler in the headline. So it's like spoilers are like everywhere, not just like Friends, but it was a friend that spoiled something on. But the big reveal, thankfully, at the end of the last week's episode didn't get spoiled for me. I won't say what, even though it's been a week, um, I won't talk about The Mandalorian much. I think this season's okay. Um, I think it. I mean, I heard today's episode was brilliant, but I don't know. I've been kind of reserved about this season. I felt like last season it was slow to build up, and then the last 2 episodes it got super super juicy. Um, so yeah. So hopefully this tastes good. I think I'm done mixing it up. Very very good. I was gonna add vanilla to it, but I completely forgot. Um, but next time I'll try vanilla. I don't like making the whipped coffee too much anymore, just because it's like you have to use your KitchenAid. But anyways, I wasn't really sure what topic I would pick this week because oh shoot, I'm getting stuff on me. My tissue box is underneath my table. Well, just got my tunic messy. Anyway, this is also why I don't like, because you have to mix it up like crazy to get it to not taste like milk. But anyways, I'll leave it be. So I wasn't really sure what to talk about. My boss is finally back, so I can have a little bit more breather. But I did want to talk about, I think it's a hot topic every single day. I mean, we can't avoid this topic. But it is Corona. I mean, Corona is here to stay. The vaccines seem like they are on the way, but of course they're not here yet. So it's like, what do you do? Like, do you travel or do you stay at home? Do you try to minimize the risks? I mean, you know, like people slam other people lately about like, why are you traveling? Why don't you just stay home? Well, human beings are social animals. I mean, and family is important. And I know it's like, I have had my fears about like, oh, what if I'm asymptomatic and I go visit my parents and my parents are, in the high risk age range, even though they're both healthy, thankfully, but, it is like a really big concern. And for some people, I mean, like for me, yes, I don't want to be asymptomatic and then give it to anybody or even be symptomatic and give it to anybody. So I think like the whole should I travel or should I stay at home is a deeply personal choice. But then I think people need to be safe, and I think people need to take precautions for you and your family. I'm not a person that believes that it's a hoax. I'm not a person that believes that I can do whatever I want without um, any repercussions. I want to be safe. I'm not going to not travel, but I think with anything, just be safe. The corona rate is skyrocketing, and and I feel like people are like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'm like, well, I mean, maybe it's kind of like the flu. Like, it seemed quieter in the summer, and then as soon as it got cold again, it seemed like the rates are spiking up because like in my area people are wearing masks when they go out, and so I'm like I'm not really sure if the mask is like because like this it spiked before Thanksgiving travel holiday. So I think you like on a personal level, if you do decide to travel, you just have to like stay safe. um like when I went to my trip to Disney, it was kind of like nerve-wracking in a way because there are a few friends on Facebook that are very, very like vocal and like one like on my husband's Facebook when he said that he was going out to dinner at a restaurant and he was like, "Well, I hope you get corona and die." So there are people that are a little excessive right now or extreme in their anger about corona and we still go out to eat, but we're safe about it, and you know but I think like doesn't matter what destination you end up picking, you do have to have planning. Like even going into DC, like nowadays, like I've mentioned before, like you have to know what's open. Like there are a lot of restaurants and tourist sites that aren't open right now because of corona, and it changes daily. Like I wanted to go to the Ford Theater last weekend or the weekend. I think it was last weekend, and I waited until I think like tickets were supposed to be available for the upcoming week Friday at 11, and I waited and waited and didn't see anything. Well, I checked last week, and yeah, it confirmed it. They did end up closing Ford Theater because of the rise of corona cases again. So, if you're picking, it doesn't even matter if you're picking a domestic or international. So, of course, like international, there's still countries, a lot of countries that are absolutely still closed their borders. Like, you have to have a really good reason why you're going to that country, and, or, you have to, like, there's more prep into going to some of those countries. Like South Korea, I saw, like, Strictly Dumpling, Mikey Chen, who I love his channel. He had to like quarantine in one of their like official government quarantine hotels for 2 weeks. So, and of course he's doing like a long stay. So he's for someone like him who is actually going to stay in the country for as long as I think he's staying there for as long as his visa will let him. Um, that's something that is like okay, but like if you just want to go on vacation, like spending 2 weeks, most people's vacation is like a 2 week vacation. And then you have on top of that having to come home, and then some of the job sites are telling you, no, you have to quarantine another 14 days. So that's like a month like taken out, and that's not even you having any vacation time because like when you're in that 2 week quarantine in like South Korea, you can't go anywhere. You're like restricted to that room. Um, so like when you're picking like where you want to travel, you have to see what their guidelines are and what if you have to get tested before and after. So because I think some states, if you're I'm in the United States, so some states are even requiring you when you come back from your vacation that you need to do the test, or or quarantine. So CDC just this week, I believe it was this week, has updated some of the guidelines. So I think if you're going to go anywhere internationally, I think first check the State Department's website. Now, some of these countries are always on the no travel list because of what country they are, like Somalia, Iraq, um, North Korea. But my boss was like, "Why are you nervous about going to Mexico?" I was like, "No, because like the Cancun area is actually like their coronavirus rate is actually like really low. It's just some of the I think I read another article that was talking about how it's mostly the impoverished areas of Mexico that are having an uptick in corona. Um, so you have to like know like where are you going? Like I feel okay going to Cancun. Like I'm fine, and a lot of the resorts are actually like at 20 to 30% capacity. So it's like maybe it's just me and my travel companion and occasionally going to out to eat at the resort, so we should be good. Um, Mexico, you have to fill out health forms when you get there, but they're not been too like they don't have like Jamaica, I think St. Lucia, a few other countries you have to take a test within 72 hours before you travel to the country, and some of the other stuff. So I think if you pick a country, really research, do your research, and just know it can change. So like this is why having a travel agent or really like you really have to keep up with your travel advisories. Also like maybe like really invest in like travel insurance, and also just be aware. I would definitely, if you don't have a travel agent, I really would recommend one, especially nowadays. They really do help. I also really recommend travel insurance. And yeah, I think those two are really going to be in the future, definitely. Definitely do. Oh, and some countries actually require you to have like a medical insurance too. Um, so you have to like kind of look into that. I have to check this message real quick. Um, so yeah, so definitely look at what the country that you want to travel to is recommending or requiring before you even go. I know for me personally, let's go back to CDC. So CDC is saying like they changed their requirements. Well, not requirements, but they recommend that if you're like going to certain countries, that you should get like a test a few days before you go, and then get the results. And if you're positive, of course, don't go. Um, and then if you're negative, then the coast is clear, but take precautions, be safe, um, and, you know, just be safe. Like, wear your mask, take, even though I know the airlines are saying they're doing all this cleanse stuff, just take antibacterial wipes, wipe down your seats, keep your masks on. And I know that like a lot of the hotels at Cancun are like taking like, you disinfecting your luggage before they like even put it in your room and stuff like that. So, um, and then the CDC also changed kind of like, they're not saying the full 14. They say if you're not going to get tested when you come back, then quarantine for 14 days. But if you take a test, they said 3 to 5 days after you return, take a test. Um, my massage therapist, and I'm gonna get into this, like, of people that really need to like don't visit people, or if you know you're positive, don't go anywhere. Like I just read an article that Hawaii, like there was this Hawaii couple that I guess they really wanted to go to LA, and they both knew that they had a positive test, and they still try to get on the airplane. I'm like, dudes, why? Like, you're positive. Like, don't travel. Like, it's not it's not like it's not been in the news for the past like 8 months. Like, don't travel. You're positive. Stay home. Like, your trip's not that important. And they actually, I think they said, I'm not sure if it was a Hawaiian government or like the LA was gonna bring them up on charges for like reckless endangerment, because they boarded the plane. Well, and they knew that they were positive. You know, it's like not knowing that you're positive is one thing, but if you know you're positive, that's horrible. So, my massage therapist actually told me that she had a client that she didn't tell her she was positive until after the massage, which is also like horrible. Like, don't do stuff if you know you're positive. Thankfully, my massage therapist, she tested negative, but like, piggybacking off what the CDC says, she actually said that when she went to go get tested, the doctor told her, like, you're most contagious with between 3 to 5 days. So, really, like, he recommended getting tested like your fourth or fifth day, really. Um, and so that's what she did, and she was negative, but she still, for her benefit, like for her, she still quarantined the whole 14 days. So, because she's a nice person and she's responsible, you know. And it's funny, some countries are actually like encouraging, and Hawaii too. I saw this for Hawaii as well. They're actually encouraging like extended work at home packages, um, which I think is really cool. Like I think Mexico and I want to say Barbados offered that. I'm not sure if Barbados, but I know I saw ads for Mexico and Hawaii. I mean, if I would really pick, if I had to work from home, not that I've ever been to Mexico, but I would actually pick a country that has all inclusives. You know, Hawaii doesn't have all inclusives. So I really wouldn't pick Hawaii because of the expense. Like, Hawaii's not cheap. Um, so I would pick somewhere that actually has like a food and beverage package so that I could, you know, eat, drink, and be merry during our 9 o'clock meetings. So, but anyways, guys, really like I think with anything, if you're going to travel stateside, you know, go to Disney World, go to your family. I mean, I think it's just being respectful. If like my trainer, she's going to back home to Massachusetts, and actually, like Massachusetts is making them do a test 72 hours before that they can travel. So it's like things like that, like know what they require, like each of the states require before you head out. You know, don't just. I think the time of just kind of random spontaneous trips without any like knowledge of what's going on in the world is not really the thing right now. Um, but anyways, I'll end it there. I have to get back to work and so I have people messaging me. So, anyways, I hope you like, subscribe. Are you guys planning any trips for Christmas? We are just probably gonna go see my parents and my husband's mom is coming up to North Carolina. But other than that, I think it's gonna be pretty quiet. Anyways, like and subscribe. Join me for future videos, and I'll post the next vlog up whenever I have it up. So take care.